you wouldn't be going to Glasgow by any chance, would you? And I said, yeah, I'm going to Glasgow. That was where my friend was who offered me to come round. So I said, yeah, I'm going to Glasgow. How did you know? I said, did you see my backpack when it was on the chair? Did you see the sign? He said, no. He said, I never knew. I never saw anything while you sat next to me. He said, it was only when you got and walked up the corridor that I actually saw the sign on your back. So I was like, wow, everything is given, even what I had to do. And the next thing he says, I'm a truck driver. He said, I'm heading to Glasgow. He said, I can take you all the way. And so that was it, you know. Game was over. I didn't have to sit and wait anymore. I had the lift right the way into Glasgow, and it was amazing. So gets into Glasgow. It was about 1:45 in the morning, and he dropped me on this industrial estate, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and everything was shut down, and it was pitch black, and he made me laugh because as I was getting out the cabin, he said, now remember, be careful, because I've just dropped you in the murder capital of the world. You're in the murder capital now, he said. I was just laughing. I was laughing inside, and like, there was no fear, not a touch of it. I thought it was hilarious. And then he said, and it doesn't help by the fact, and what he said next, I mean, I was laughing even more, because I was wearing a pair of black linen trousers, a t-shirt, and a black cardigan, no makeup on, and a pair of trainers. And he says, it makes it worse because you look like a hooker. I think you might get picked up. And I was like, when he left, I was laughing. A prostitute. I was in fits of laughter. I mean, there was no chance of any fear because I was too busy rolling on the floor laughing my arse off. And so when I finally get up and stops laughing, I could see this light in the distance. And I was like, oh, make your way over there. So I made my way over, and it was obviously it was this, there was a petrol station, and this was the light that was on. It was a 24-hour petrol station. And so I went in there, and I spoke to the lady behind the checkout, and she said, oh, love, she said, I know a great taxi company, a friend of mine. She said, I can get you there for next to nothing. So I told her where my friend lived, and within minutes this taxi was here, and it took me. So it was all amazing. And the ego was just getting flushed all the way there. Flushed out completely. And there was never any fear anyway. But it was like there was attempts to make me fearful along the way, but it didn't work. Just no fear whatsoever. So I arrived at my friend's and had lots and lots of lessons there with him, and there were some real funny lessons as well, because the chance to heal from relationships was coming up, and because we were watching a film, what was the film called? The Time Traveler's Wife. And we got to a certain section in the film, and we just looked at each other, and it was just this aha moment, and we both knew, and then Spirit came in with this chance to heal relationships and hand it over. But I had some stuff coming in, and it was like, I didn't want to hand it over while I was in the company of a man, because I thought, if I do that, then there's going to be some sexual hoo-ha going on, and I don't want a bar of that. And I just didn't feel like I could do this with the guy I was staying with, and it was like, oh no, I couldn't, just didn't resonate with me at all. So I thought, if I handed it over there and then I'd have to do something, and that didn't resonate. So I said to Holy Spirit, I said, oh no, I said, you're not having this one. I said, I'd rather eat chocolate. And so this guy's laughing, and he actually went and got me chocolate. And we were both laughing, because I'd rather hold on to it than hand it over and eat chocolate instead. Instead of getting involved with the man, I'd rather eat chocolate. But when I left there, as soon as I left there and I was out of harm's way of anybody, I gave it up to Spirit. So now you can have it. Because I thought I was I was trying to have control over it, So it was so funny. But then once I was in Scotland, the ego is like piping up, like was taking credit for getting me there, and was saying, you know, I'm the one that's got you here, and I'm taking the credit, and therefore I can pull the rug from under you. You might think you're a smart ass for getting all the way to Scotland, but you ain't gonna get back. Whoa, you wait and see what happens when you try and get back. And I was just laughing. I was just laughing. I was like, I've got no problem getting home, none whatsoever. So the guy who I was staying with, he said, "Oh, I'm going to buy you a coach ticket." It was about 120 quid. And I said I was really grateful, but I didn't feel that I was meant to go on a coach. And it was like, it was luxurious, and although it was a means of getting home and it was given, it was like, it was too easy, really. Because the ego was saying, no, 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 you'd never hitchhike, you couldn't do it, it's not possible. Well, if I got on this luxurious coach, then I would never know, would I? So I didn't even feel that it was right to get on this coach. And so I said to the guy, you know, I'm really honoured and touched that you'd buy me a ticket, but I don't think you need to, you know, I don't think it's really meant. And he's going, no, I'm taking you into town, I'm getting you this ticket. So he was insisting that he was doing what he wanted, and he was pretty much into the ego that day, and we both were. And he says, come with me, I'm taking you to the bus station, I'm buying you a ticket. We gets into Glasgow city centre. It was heaving that day, people everywhere. And for some unknown reason, we got split up, him and I, and we couldn't find each other. We got separated, so there was no bus ticket, there was no coach ticket, and there was no phone to ring, there was no number, there was no anything. I was left like in the middle of Glasgow, so I knew there and then I had to make my way out of there. And I could see in the city centre there was about 8 roads out, 8 avenues I could have taken. And I was like, I just need to get to the motorway island, that's what I need, so I can travel south. But I had no idea which road or which route or which way, and Spirit was just saying, follow me, follow me, follow me. And it was like I was just walking, not knowing where I was going. It was like I was following my nose. And I trusted where I was walking, that I was walking where I was meant to go. And then all of a sudden I ended up at this big island, and on the corner of this island there was a huge depot, like a warehouse of some kind, and there was a HGV truck unloading there in the bay, and this guy had his like luminous yellow vest on, and he was walking around the car park, and I thought, I'm going to jump the fence and go speak to this guy. If he's a truckie, he's bound to know where the motorway exit is. So I jumped the fence, and I goes up to this guy, and I goes, oh, excuse me, I said, just looking for the motorway exit. I said, being a truckie, I thought you'd know. He said, where are you going? And I told him, and he went, oh! He said, I'm going to the UK. He said, in a minute. Just give me 5 minutes to do this load. And he said, I'll be with you. He said, get in the truck. He said, it's nice and comfortable in there. He said, there's a kettle there. It's just boiled. Make yourself a drink and get yourself a biscuit. And I was like, holy cow. Everything is given. I'm right where I'm meant to be. Right where I'm meant to be. And he took me all the way into the Lake District in the UK. So it was perfect. And when I got to the Lake District, he dropped me at these services, and it was just starting to get dark, and it was cold and it was wet, and traffic was dying down because it goes really quiet. Plus, when it's dark, people can't see you so well. So, and I was stood there and I was thinking, oh, it's cold, it's uncomfortable, it's wet, and I don't really want to be standing here. And instantly, this thought came in that, you know, I'm a holy child of God. You know, I'm a holy son of God, and does the holy is the holy son of God meant to stay out in the cold and the wet and the dark and the rain? Is he meant to suffer in any way? And I was like, hell no. And so I thought I must be in the wrong mind, so I clicked back into the right mind, and with that I could see these lights in the distance, and walked over there, and there was this hotel, and I didn't even know if I had money to pay for this room, but I was guided to put my debit card out on the counter, It's not a credit card because I don't have any credit cards. I mean, if there's no money in the bank, it doesn't get paid. So I just asked for this, see if she had a room available. She said yes. I handed the card over and prayed that it'd go through, and it did go through. And so I'd gone from the cold, dark, rainy streets to a luxurious hotel room with a double bed and an ensuite bathroom. I had this great big hot bubble bath and was drinking hot chocolate, and then I got dried off and I was all snuggled up and watching this film on the movie channel, and I just thought, yeah, it was all perfect. When I got up the next day and left the hotel, I went straight over to this guy. I could see this truck on the truckers' car park, the lorry car park they call it, and I was told that's the truck you're going home in, but it was empty. And this guy walks towards it with this McDonald's breakfast in his hand, and I said, "Excuse me, love," and he said, "Yeah." I said, "You're not going to that truck there, are you?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Is it your truck?" He said, "Yeah." And I went, "Oh." He said, "Why'd you ask?" I said, "Oh, I'm just looking for a lift home." And I didn't tell him that I'd just been told that I was going home in that truck. He said, "Oh," he said, "get in, I'll give you a lift." And then he sat there in his cab and sharing his McDonald's breakfast with me. So I had breakfast, and then he took me right to as far as he could go, which was about 20 miles from home. And I was expecting to get a lift to the motorway junction, which then, if I'd have got dropped at the motorway junction, I would have had like a 4-mile walk home. Anyway, he dropped me off, and this car pulls up, and he goes, "Oh, get in, love, get in." So I get in this car, and he says, he says, "No, I'm not going to take you to the last motorway junction." He said, "I'm going to take you all the way home." He said, "I've got something to do in Evesham." And he actually took me home all the way to my front door. And so it was amazing. It was an amazing journey where just ego was just getting flushed and washed away. And there was it's not like about the destination ever. It's always about the journey. And this is what's been happening to me for 4 years, and it's a continuation of this story. And I should really reshare the Glastonbury journey and the Greece and Corfu journey that I had, because that's another awesome adventure. And so was the America one. I went to America the year before that one, and so it's been awesome, you know. And when I've worked full time all my life, well, from the age of 15 to 40. I always said that I'd retire when I was 40. Always said it. Thought I was joking, but actually 40 was when I got my awakening, and 40 is when I actually retired. And I worked my entire life from 15 to 40, full time, slogged my guts out, never had a holiday, ever. Never treated myself, never drunk, never smoked, never had anything for myself, never. You know, and I'd worked hard all those years, but never had anything. The minute I gave up work and started to follow Jesus, the minute I followed Spirit, I have been to, I've been to Somerset and Glastonbury and London. I've been to Scotland, Portugal and the Algarve. I've been to Texas and Dallas, and Houston in Texas. I've been to Toronto in Canada. I've been to Greece, and all the way around the island of Corfu. And this is all in the space of 3 years. And since joining Spirit, they're all the places that I've been to since I left employment and held hands with Spirit. I mean, I never went anywhere when I worked my arse off. And since holding hands with Spirit, I've been in all those places I've just said. And I know it's not just a one-off experience, it's a way of life. It's my way of life now, and I'm just so excited for what's coming next. And I know it's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be awesome, because there's no way I'm going back to hell. It's heaven all the way home now. All the way home. So yeah, I'll join you again soon.